is talking will pop large.
Okay, well, it is 7, so I will call this meeting to order. And we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Okay. Excuse me?
I said Cindy's on.
Oh.
Hello.
Hi, Cindy. Okay, moving right along. Heather, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Queenie Bars.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Fred Brooks.
Here.
Trustee Ed Hallam.
Here.
Trustee Betsy Harrison.
Here.
Trustee Cindy Simpson.
Here.
Trustee Janice Bryan.
Here.
Trustee Brent McWhorter.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum, so we will continue. Next on the agenda is the approval of the agenda, and I would entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda. I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Fred Brooks and a second by Trustee Ed Hallam to approve the agenda as written. All in favor say aye.
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 Okay, all opposed, same sound. Okay, motion carries. Next is the approval of the minutes of December 9th, 2020, and I would entertain a motion.
I move we approve the minutes as presented by staff.
I second.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Trustee Cindy Simpson and a second by Trustee Betsy Harrison and Brent McWhorter to approve the minutes of December 9th, 2020 as presented. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, same sound. Okay, motion carries. Next on the agenda is audience business, and looks like we have Bob Becker here to speak.
Yes.
Are you speaking on something that's on the agenda or not?
Pardon?
Are you speaking on something that is on the agenda or?
No.
Okay, then you want to come up and you have 5 minutes?
You get up there, I hope.
No.
He can speak from there if we can hear him right now.
Can you hear him from there, brother? Bob, you want to stay there? You can stay there if you want to.
That's fine, I can come up.
Okay, thank you.
It's up to you. And state your name and address for the record when you get there.
Yes, I'm Bob Becker. I live at 240 West Montezuma Street in Mancos. And reason I'm here tonight is addressing a certain, I guess, class of your water rates that was approved several years ago. I don't know if one of those properties has contacted the town yet or not, but it was one of the properties that was given a special rate. They were out of town, and I think it was in '02, the drought year. They were given an in-town rate under a new class of agriculture. That property, one of those properties anyway, is no longer agriculture. The ranch managers left there a year ago, last October, I believe. And it is now a bed and breakfast, getting $368 a night. So I figured they could probably pay the out-of-town expense now, and they have had customers in there over the holidays. So I wanted to bring that to your attention, and I'll be glad to give you what information I have that I copied offline, because I think y'all need to look into it.
Yeah, to be fair, we need to be fair to all.
And Bob will come get that, so you don't have to walk anymore.
Pardon?
Justin will come get that paperwork.
Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead and give it to Heather. Because we can't, as you know, Bob, we can't make any decisions during audience business, but we can give that information to Heather, and
Staff can look into it.
the staff can look into it and then bring it back to us for if she feels like it's something that we need to handle, or if she can handle, if staff can handle it on their own.
We can handle it.
Does everybody hear that and agreeable with that?
Sure, fine.
Yes.
It's okay.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you very much.
Okay, moving right along. Heather, do you have any announcements?
I have a couple, because it's been a while since we spoke. With regard to our last meeting, we haven't had any businesses come into town hall to pick up posters like the COVID-19 posters that we talked about. However, Rachel, our economic development coordinator, has been in contact with businesses. She may have given some out. I also know that she posted printable posters on our Facebook page and website, so if businesses wanted to just go print them for free, they could. With regard to the CARES Act funding, Montezuma County has distributed a total of $655,332 in CARES Act funding. That's all of us in the county. Mancos gave away $74,629. Montezuma County awarded $353,549. Cortez awarded $189,301. And Dolores awarded $37,583 to a total of 161 awardees. I have a couple of statistics. 35 of those 161 businesses, or 22%, were majority women-owned. 7% were majority minority-owned businesses. 29% were nonprofit businesses. And 44% of the businesses were related to tourism. So I just thought that was wonderful and wanted to make sure you guys had that information. Yes, Cindy?
They were related to what?
Tourism.
Tourism. Okay, I thought you said chores, and I was like, people do chores? I want someone to do that. Okay, thank you. Tourism.
Montezuma County now has a button. Oh, I'm sorry, Betsy. Did you have a question?
I was just going to say, on those stats, if we could consolidate them and put them on our Facebook page or something, I think that's really good information for the community to have.
Okay.
You know, to know that that amount of money went out and to whom it went and so on.
Okay, I can do that. Laura, Region 9 sent us a nice summary, so I will get that posted.
Yeah, just plug it in somehow. That'd be great.
Yep. Montezuma County now has a button on their COVID-19 page that citizens can click to sign up for vaccinations with the health department. There is a button on the Montezuma County Health Department page, and there's a button on the Montezuma County COVID-19 page. So if you need to register with the health department for vaccinations, you can very easily now go click that button, and it goes to their, they have a special email address that they are monitoring. And that went live this morning. Rachel and myself met with the Mancos Chamber and the Mancos Creative District yesterday. We haven't had our monthly meetings in 2020 because of COVID. So we met with them just to catch up and discuss current projects and maybe future collaboration opportunities. So you guys will start seeing that information again. This is just kind of an FYI for all of you. There's been a large increase in fraudulent unemployment claims and 1099 claims in 2020. Yes, indeed. So if you run into this, talk to your tax preparer or your CPA, but it's happening everywhere.
Yeah,
So,
it hit me.
Yeah.
And so, you know, like I had to freeze my credit bureau reports, and yeah, it's a nightmare. There's like 10 or 15 different things you have to do and file, and
Yep.
it really sucks.
And it's very widespread. So just keep an eye on your credit reports and that kind of thing. We have a joint workshop scheduled with the Montezuma County Commissioners on February 10th at 5:30. And it will be kind of a meet and greet for our board and their board to kind of get together and talk and meet each other in person and discuss ways that we can collaborate and work together moving forward.
And where will that be, here?
Here at Town Hall at 5:30. And the workshop is open to the public. However, the public will not participate in that discussion. That is for the Town Board of Trustees and the Montezuma County Commissioners to meet and discuss. As you all know, new boardroom technology is up and running. We're using it for the first time tonight. The meeting tonight will be published to YouTube so the citizens can view it. Mancos has a YouTube page. We will do this a few times to make sure we have all the kinks worked out. And then in the future, we will be streaming our board meetings live on YouTube, similar to Montezuma County. We will not be allowing comments on our YouTube page. Citizens will not be allowed to comment nor address the board via YouTube. We have mechanisms for that. They can come here and speak at the podium. They can log into Zoom. I do publish the Zoom information on the agenda. So we're not taking comments via YouTube if anybody asks. That is all I have tonight. So I don't know if anybody else has a question.
So just so everybody else knows, not that this is really an announcement, but it is an announcement. Our new Mancos rep for the County Commissioners, Joe Stevenson, is present with us. I don't know how to, but you guys see Joe as he comes up here and stands behind me for a minute, so you guys could see him and all. But he is here. Fred and I attended the reception yesterday, and Joe did say he's going to try and attend all of our meetings so that we can work together as a community and work closely with us and with the commissioners. So it's good to have you here, Joe. Thank you very much for coming. And again, we'll see you again on the 27th and again on the 10th. So maybe we'll have some food on the 10th for all of us too. So that will just thank you for coming.
You said 5:30, correct?
5:30.
Does anybody else have any
Getting it on my
announcements?
calendar.
Okay. Just another short announcement. I know Justin and Donna, those guys have been recommending everybody to lock your doors, lock your doors, lock your doors. A member of the bank staff, downtown Mancos, middle of the day, had her car broken into. So please lock your doors. And so it's just a reminder for all of us. It can happen at any time. All right, moving right along to the treasurer's report. We have the December bills and claims, and I would entertain a motion.
I have a question.
Okay.
On it says a payment to Empire Electric, and it says Monty Street.
That's my fault.
Okay.
That should say electricity because we receive 7 or 8 different electric bills. And so what I do is instead of giving you 7 or 8 Empire Electric lines that say Monty Street Sewer Plant, I collapse them into one and make it say electricity. I missed that description. So
okay.
It should just say electricity.
Fine. Thank you very much.
Anybody else have any questions? Entertain a motion.
I move we approve the December bills and claims as presented by staff.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Betsy Harrison and a second by trustee Cindy Simpson to accept the December bills and claims as presented by staff. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Okay, moving right along, we have committee reports, Region 9. And Janice, do you have anything on Region 9?
No, I don't. I don't, they're having a meeting at the end of this month. It hasn't come around no. And I think later on, we're having another discussion about that we'll talk about.
Right. CDOT, TPR?
Pretty lean at the CDOT meeting. Construction updates. The big news is the animal underpass over by Chimney Rock. The science behind that is pretty fascinating. I've been through that before. They can only do a half a mile up or down from where the underpass is going to be. And usually after it's been constructed, they do some footage and they have some infrared cameras staked out and they track the number of animals through. And it's pretty wild to watch that as the months go on. Because
Utah's been doing it and they're pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you would think it would be just deer and elk, but they get everything through there. And the eyes really, really show up on the infrared.
So when will they start construction?
It's supposed to be in 2 years, but when you take into account that any project that CDOT does takes 6 to 8 years, you know,
Two millennials?
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be within my lifetime or not. They did complete the relining of the culverts on 184, so all of that mess is over. And there's really nothing else going on construction-wise that's big in the county right now.
Except they're still working on the 550 bridge to nowhere connection.
Yeah.
That'll be a long time.
That's gonna be a long time. And they actually had an invite out for all of us on the committee to go and see what the construction was like, but with the COVID situation and those things, that just didn't come to pass.
Yep.
Okay. Then moving right along, we'll go to our action and discussion items. The first one is the 2020 work plan that the staff has given us.
We've got a lot of work ahead of you guys.
This is based on all of our budget discussions this year, the projects and the capital and capital items and that kind of thing. So basically it's just in one place for you. We'll give you quarterly updates like we have. We're working on a 2021 economic development work plan. So as soon as that's complete, that will come to you guys at one of our meetings next month. But this is just FYI, so I don't know if anybody has any questions or wants clarification on anything.
Like I said, you guys, it's great to see it all laid out like this, so that if someone questions us, we have something to say, this is where they're at on that. I think this is a real great tool for us as board members to have.
It's very transparent to let us know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've done a nice job.
I think Betsy and Janice maybe had a question.
So under admin for research Highway 160 options for
Yes.
the right, how does that play? I mean, what kind of steps do we take to get the state behind us?
We have an access control plan with CDOT for the 160, which lines out where we want access and where we agreed to access points onto the 160. So, and that instead of Willow, I need to correct that. It should say Monty and the 160. Because that is the number, and then the access control plan is prioritized. So the first priority on that access control plan was a pedestrian crossing. We're done. So now it's time to move on to another CDOT project. And so what I will do to start that is pull out that access control plan, send it to my local engineer and say, we want to start exploring these options. It's going to take 5 to 6 years to complete. It's like the bridge or like the pedestrian crossing. They do take time to complete.
Right.
But,
But the groundwork has been
yes,
taken care of,
correct.
and we've done our part
Uh,
so far.
Mancos and CDOT have done their part with the access control plan.
Mhm.
Now it's up to the town to remember that we have that plan and to work the plan.
Right.
So.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
Okay, Betsy, you had a question?
I did, I'm sorry, but I need a little clarification on the Cottonwood Trail issue.
Oh, the trail in Cottonwood Park, the walking trail along the south side of the park, but the north side of the river, portions of that were constructed on private property. When the project was done in 2014, 2015, 2016. So Terry and I have been talking about pulling it back onto town property.
So is it on the west end of the trail? Because the Curry's property comes across the river?
It is
South.
towards the western side of the park.
South.
Well, it's on the north side of the river, the south side of the park, but the north side of the river,
Right.
and it is farther west. Yes, Betsy.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Where are we at with the bridge there? When the very first thing on here, you know, is our Main Street Bridge replacement. And I don't think we've talked about that for a while.
We haven't, and I do have that on the agenda a little bit later.
Okay.
But I had a conference call with CDOT on Monday of this week. And our CDOT engineer has submitted all of the forms for approval. He's hoping to receive approval by the end of this week. And we're hoping to receive notice to proceed with advertising construction possibly next week. So
Okay.
once we receive that, we still have to advertise for bids. It takes 30 days. But we are getting to the point where we can receive approval from CDOT. The town is working through some traffic control issues to see if we can save some money on that project. It won't stop anything because if he gives us notice to proceed at the same time, he's going to say, yes, you can do this, or no, it has to stay in the budget, and that's what we're going to do.
Okay.
So, but we're hoping to get that by next week. That was my conversation with them on Monday. As soon as I receive that from them, I will be reaching out to all of our local businesses to say, here's what's happening. Here's your timeline.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions regarding the work plan? Comments? Okay. We will move right along then. The second is the Region 9 board appointment. Heather?
And this is by no means required. I want to put that up front. Currently, Mayor Bars and Trustee Bryant are appointed to the Region 9 board as voting members on behalf of the town. Their meetings are sometimes several hours long, and I don't know if either of you have time constraints or are unable to attend those meetings on a regular basis. But our economic development coordinator does attend all of those meetings, and she would be happy to be a voting member if one of you can't make the meetings or don't want to do that moving forward, don't want to have that responsibility to attend those meetings moving forward. It doesn't mean that you can't attend if you're interested. But if we do not have a regular representative at those meetings, we lose our voice in Region 9.
My question is, it's always been a board member, it hasn't been a staff.
Oh, well, not necessarily.
So I'm just asking that.
Yes,
because
we have.
She's contract, she's not a staff, and is she going? Whoever that is, are they going to vote town-wise? Are they going to vote fair-wise? Can there be, if we do this, what restrictions and what constraints and what knowledge does she need to know how we want to vote?
Well, there will still be two of you, two Mancos representatives, and she will only be one of those representatives. I would be comfortable appointing her. I don't have any hesitation about appointing her, but again, not required. So if both of you are able to attend those meetings regularly and vote, then that's fine. Yeah. There's tons of hands.
Denise? Okay, wait a minute, Fred.
Is there any problem with having a paid representative on Region 9 as opposed to the board members who were volunteering their time?
No, because in the past, the town administrator has been the.
Okay.
Yeah.
Denise?
Well, I'm really fine stepping back and having Rachel, since she's just more qualified than I am. I feel that maybe I could be on another board or attend other meetings or so on, and just put my skills at another level than this one. So I am more than willing to step back and do something else.
Well, I'm also willing to kind of step back because it is 4 hours for a meeting. So you've been attending them, Denise. I've been trying, but you know, it's hard to do a Zoom meeting 4 hours when you're at work. And I am, you know, working 5 days a week. So is this a decision that has to be made tonight? Can we think on it, bring it up at our next meeting?
I think Cindy has a question too.
Cindy?
Yeah, and I think my concerns were, from what I could hear Queenie saying, my concerns are pretty similar to hers, is that then how do we make sure that the voting voice is the voice of the board, you know, as a total? And so I was wondering, do they publish, like, this is what we're going to be voting on in enough advance for us to talk about things and come up with what the board thinks, or, you know, how does that work? Because I'm a little concerned with, we're elected officials, and then we're passing it off to someone who is and is she a contract employee or a part-time employee?
Contract employee right now.
Okay, so I mean, it's kind of like we're just handing it off to someone who's not like a full-time employee of the town, and so I feel a little weird about that.
Brent?
So I'm speaking as a Region 9 business owner here, and from what I know from the meetings in the past, the only time they really vote on things is to fund businesses at the time of the presentation at the meeting. So at each meeting, they have a list of presentations done by a representative of Region 9, and then the board gets together and decides to fund or not fund that business expense or startup or whatever at that meeting. So there's really no advance notice of anything because a lot of that stuff is pretty confidential leading up to the meeting.
Okay.
And as far as I'm concerned, if we've done it in the past where we've had a town administrator who's a employee of the town that's been that voice on our board, then I'm totally fine with Rachel stepping in and doing that.
So the voting isn't necessarily policy making?
No, it's voting to fund or not fund new businesses or existing businesses that are adding something of benefit to the community as well. So it's doing some sort of new thing that's going to bring more jobs to the area or expand a business. And a lot of times it's small businesses in the area that are, you know, looking for funding that wouldn't normally be able to afford funding through traditional methods like a bank, because they don't have the capital to do so, or they don't have the collateral to put up to do that as well.
Okay, so that reduces a lot of my concern. I guess I still have the principle of the thing, but as long as it's not like setting big policies or something on behalf of our board, then I have far less concern.
We don't set policies for the towns and things, so, but there are some policies for the Region 9 boards, so, yeah, we did vote on. So, Heather, I kind of would like maybe a little bit more information for our board members to know exactly what Region 9 does, and what we as board members do, and let's bring this back before we vote on it.
So do you want me to research that, or do you and Janice want to
I think,
put something together as the Region 9
rep?
reps?
Together and work on that maybe, what.
Okay, I'm sorry, Mayor, I didn't hear you real well.
I said I would like for maybe you and I to get together and work on what we do and what they've instructed us that we're gonna vote on, so that we can get that information to Cindy and Betsy and Brent and Ed and Fred, so that they know too what we're doing, so that, you know, we can make this decision and we can make it at our next meeting.
Okay,
And like I said, it's by no means required. I just want to make sure that Mancos has regular representation at those meetings.
Right.
So, and I know they're long,
They
but,
are long.
and there will always be two. Yes, Betsy, sorry.
Yeah, I haven't been to one of their meetings, so I don't know the details of what somebody would be voting on or not, but I think, from the sound of it, Rachel would be very capable of making as good a judgment as we would, especially as Brent describes, new information that none of us would have, whether it's a trustee or not a trustee. You know, if it's just come up and it's been confidential. And to me, the real advantage in this discussion is if, like, Queenie or Janice are having difficulty making these meetings and representing us, and Rachel's there anyway, that could be an advantage to free somebody up.
So Cindy, have you had your questions answered, or do you feel comfortable with that then? Do we wanna?
Yeah,
Janice?
okay, I'll just add one more thing is, like during the meeting, there's like different committees amongst Region 9. And so each one of these committee people kind of talk about what they did, and they talk about, how much money they've given out, and they spend a lot of time on that. And it's a Region 9, so, you know, there's a lot of people, a lot of different things. So the only time that I've ever really been called upon is at the very end, they'll say, they ask for like a representative from Mancos, what's going on in Mancos at this time, so to speak, you know. So the few times I've said things, it's just I kind of done a summary of what we talk about at our board meeting. You know, I don't know how much that really relates to the Region 9 issues, but that's kind of how it rolls. So that, you know, then they'll ask from somebody from Ignacio, somebody from Delora, somebody from Mancos, Cortez. So, you know, that's kind of how that meeting rolls, if that helps.
And if you guys, I could put this on the next agenda. If Janice and Queenie want to send me information, I could just put it in a board packet, and it's totally,
Okay.
like I said, this one is completely at your guys' discretion. There's no right or wrong answer.
What does everybody else think? Yeah?
I have no problem with her doing it.
Yeah.
It's up to you guys.
Janice, do you want to continue the meetings? Do you want to take turns, you and I, and let Rachel attend and be a voting member? Or do you
So
want to
this
back
is
up?
different than what you just asked me a while ago?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
yeah. So I think what she's saying is like Rachel would go to all the meetings, and then you and Queenie would switch off, or, you know, kind of work together to figure out which one of you would go. Is that what you were saying, Queenie?
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
Or do you want to back off totally, Janice, and I go, or do you want to be on it and I'll back off?
Yeah, As
All
of
three
right
can
now,
still go.
we're doing them all
You
on
can go
Zoom.
to two
So it's just, you're not going anywhere. So I'm more than happy to do the one this month. So I will definitely attend this month. They haven't sent out an invite yet, but I have it wrote down. I think it's like the 27th or something. Okay?
All right, so then, I think we'll go ahead and let Denise stay on that. I will back down and then I will attend when I can. By Zoom, and we'll let Rachel. So I would need a motion for that.
Yes, because you can always attend, but we need to appoint 2 people to vote on our behalf.
Janice votes right now.
Janice votes. If you are the one who will be attending but not voting, then I need a motion and a second to replace Rachel Marchbanks, or to place Rachel Marchbanks as a voting member for Region 9 and remove Queenie Bars. I need a motion and a roll call vote for that.
So moved.
Second,
Okay, so we have a motion by trustee Cindy Simpson and a second by trustee Betsy Harrison to remove me as a voting member and leave Denise on and to replace Rachel Marchbanks Simback.
She goes by Marchbanks professionally.
As our second voting member of Region 9. Okay. So we have a motion on the floor. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, same sound. Motion carries. Okay, moving right along to the Main Street Bridge fiber relocation. Heather?
Okay, so one of the things that we have discovered during this project is we need to relocate. There is fiber that is currently duct taped and zip tied to the bottom of the current bridge. So
Where does it go?
it is fiber that starts here and it runs and it serves Alpaca, the library, the school, and our shop at the other end of town. So
how does it get from there all the way over there?
It goes underground to the bridge, then it's duct taped to the bottom of the bridge, and then it goes underground on the south side of the river to the school, and then it goes down Riverside.
Can we duct tape it to the pedestrian bridge during construction?
Sure.
So, well,
Lay it in the river.
so we reached out to Empire Electric, and Terry reached out to Empire Electric to see if we could just temporarily, for the 100 days of construction, attach to their poles here, and then just go across Main Street, attach to a pole, and then when everything's done, we'll put it back in the bridge because we're actually building a space, we'll run conduit. Empire Electric requires a franchise agreement, 6 months, a 6-month process, and $65,000. So that's not an option. So DB Tech is our fiber consultant that we have under contract to do fiber repairs and installation in town. So I reached out to Bill. They can do it for approximately, and he gave me an approximate number of approximately $43,000. We don't have a choice. And I could, depending on the how the grant goes and how the budget goes. This is an eligible reimbursement expense under the grant. At this time, I don't know what our construction budget's going to look like and that kind of thing. But I just wanted to give you this information sooner rather than later. Bill the $43,000 that he had given me was when we assumed we were going to be attaching to Empire poles. We're going to run the same route, but now we have to provide the poles. We have to pay for the poles. So he'll give me a revised bid with the poles and whatever equipment is required to attach to the poles. So $43,000 is approximate and probably a little bit low. I wanted to, like I said, just get this to you guys sooner rather than later. He is going to have a bid for me this week, a firm bid. So I will put this on the January 27th agenda for your official review, vote, permanent record. But again, I just wanted to give it to you as soon as I could because it is not a cost that was included in the original budget that was drafted in 2015.
So I have some gorilla tape, some zip ties, and some tent poles that extend. I'll do it for $5,000.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and somebody said, why don't we just cut it off? And I said, well, because we can't.
Oh, yeah.
So, anyway, as I get information on that, I will bring it to you guys. But it is something that kind of popped up, and Terry did tons, trying to work with Empire and stuff, and it's just not an option for us to wait 6 months and do a franchise agreement with them.
So Terry, if you put the poles in, you want to climb the poles, I've got
Yeah.
the cleats to climb them. I have daddies from the telephone company, so we can borrow them. Save a little bit of money.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Brent's
Brent.
got a question.
Brent, you got a question? Comment?
Does the fiber run underground?
No. Yes. Yes, it does.
Why couldn't we just run it under the pedestrian bridge to the library that way and then just tap back into it?
I see what
Yeah.
you're saying. It does not run east and west underground. It runs north and south underground, right where Town Hall is, right across from Missy's.
So it runs under Main.
Correct. We actually talked about, we started to walk down to the pedestrian bridge because that was DB Tech's idea. And then when I told them, it doesn't run this way and we're in CDOT right of way, we backtracked. We're going to put up poles, basically a pole, 2 poles in the GMC lot, one right next to the sidewalk, one closer to the river. And then we're going to put up a pole over where the corner of Alpaca, where it meets the river with the bakery there. And we're just going to temporarily run that. And then when it's done, we're going to take those down, dispose of the poles, unfortunately, and run it back through the bridge.
Well, I think we should hang on to the
Well,
poles.
we'll hold on to the
Yeah.
poles. I honestly don't know what we'll do with 3 35-foot poles, but Terry can put them at the shop and we'll figure it out.
We can do caber tossing or something.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, Ed. What was your?
You can't run it off the building?
No. It needs to be taller than that, and it needs to be.
Yeah.
It needs to be far enough out of the work zone that the equipment and the contractors aren't hitting it. So, anyway, just wanted to let you guys know we were hoping to run it on Empire in the alley between the distillery or the cidery, but it's not an option. So.
Grant, you have any questions?
What?
Did you have any questions?
No, that was it. That was just the comment was that. And as a new solar owner, I can understand how it takes things forever with Empire. So.
Anybody else have any comments or things? Okay. Then moving right along, next is the river walk behind the school.
This is an update for you all. During the school's construction process, the town applied for and received a GOCO grant on their behalf to build their elementary school playground. The grant was in the amount of $110,000, and we were basically the pass-through. They did all the work. They sent it to me. I sent it to GOCO. When I got money, I sent it to the school. However, part of that agreement included, or part of that grant application included an agreement with the school that they would dedicate the Riverwalk behind the school in perpetuity as a public trail access. During construction, there was some miscommunication, and portions of the fence on the south side of the school, but again, north side of the river, are very close to the river. There is not enough room. So Terry and I have been working with Brian at the school. And they do acknowledge that the fence was placed in the incorrect location. So we are working together. Brian Hansen will be working with his architects and construction and engineers to relocate the fence 10 feet north so that there's 10 feet of access so that it's ADA compliant. And if trees need to be taken care of, we can get equipment back there. My portion of this project will be to work on a trail easement, a permanent trail easement, and it will be recorded at the county. So just wanted to update you guys because we've been kind of touching on it off and on for a little bit, but we did finally all get together on a conference call, and the school is doing their part and we're doing ours. So you may see, depending on that trail easement process, you may see an ordinance at a future meeting that you'll need to approve, and then we will record that at the county, so it will be recorded in perpetuity as a riverwalk.
Any comments from anybody?
Thank you.
Okay, moving right along again is for items for the January 27th, 2021 agenda. We will be having a public hearing for the Green Kiwi 5 LLC change of location from where they're at now to the Millwood location. We really need to be in person for that meeting. We'll have to social distance, but we need to have the board here in person for that meeting. So
Then we need to know that mask will be worn by everybody
this
involved.
will be worn, yes, but that's going to be
And not here, not here, here.
but masks will have to be worn. So we will social distance in the boardroom, chairs, so people can come and speak at the podium. And then if we have more people than what chairs we have, we will put them outside and they'll have to come in. We will ask if they're going to say the same thing, to then just please ask for a speaker to come. But we really, as a board, need to be here in person for that. And I know that's hard on everybody, but I am asking that as the mayor to my board to be present. Brent?
And I'm asking as a trustee of the board that everybody is going to wear a mask and that we will enforce it at the meeting.
And I'll have masks on the table as well. I currently have masks and hand sanitizer, so I'll make sure that I put extra masks in case we get audience members.
But for us that are worried about this and that are remote right now, we need to have an assurance that it will be enforced.
Yeah.
Okay. We can do that.
Okay.
I also have 2 other items on that. We will be swearing in a new deputy marshal, and staff will provide our 2020 final work plan update for you all as well.
Okay, and then I have been asked, that day is also, January 27th is also Mac Neely's 100th birthday. And I have been asked to maybe do a resolution recognizing it as Mac Neely's Day. We did this for Betty Mahler when she turned 100. And, you know, Mac has been, you know, chamber president. She's been a citizen of the year. And so I just want to run that by you guys to see if that's okay if we do a resolution making January 27th, 2021 Mac Neely Day. That'd be okay with you guys.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a cool idea.
And then we can.
Does everybody know how Mac got here?
By car?
Covered wagon.
She came with a government project to do the Riverwalk.
Yep.
Yes, that's right.
Really?
It wasn't AmeriCorps then, I think it was something else, but it was like she was a AmeriCorps volunteer in her old age.
I think it might have been
Get some
CCC.
information from her. I think maybe we can visit with her and get some history from her and add it into this resolution and just really do it a nice resolution to, you know, not all of us get to be 100 years old, and let's make it nice for her.
Does somebody want to reach out to her?
I'll reach out to the people that have reached out to me about it and see if they can give us some history, and I'll give it to you. Okay. All right. Anybody else have anything for that agenda? Okay. Then I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Second.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. I'm here, I'm just not on film.